What's up, guys? Camera is looking a little bit blurry. I don't know why. Hmm, that's better. What was going on with the camera at the beginning there? Let's see who's in the chat. We've got Chris in the chat. Whoop, whoop. Bunny Army in the chat. DJ. I think Jess was in briefly. He might drop back in. And got Griffin as well. Congratulations on 100 subs. Yeah, you limey bastard. Yeah, limey bastard. Yeah, I mean, it took a while to get into that 100 subs. I won't lie. I think that's the aim of any YouTuber. It's like 100 subs, then 1,000, then what's like the next goal after 1,000? Because with obviously everyone wants to get to. Oh, what's up, Piss? What's up, man? Thanks for jumping on, man. I suppose you know Piss is be a good person to ask. Once you've hit the fact, what you aim to get 100, just because especially with the setup that I've got, to get 100 is quite, I'm, happy as Larry, to use an English expression, I think, to get 100 subs. Obviously, it would be nice to get to 1,000. Whether that'll ever happen, I don't know. Probably not. But yeah, it's always like you want to hit 100. I guess the next big target is probably 1,000 because that's when you get your monetization. But like after 1,000, for anyone who's got 1,000 subs, like I suppose I'll aim this at Piz specifically. If you hit 1,000 subs, what's the next target? Is it because obviously 2,000? If you've done 1,000, 2,000 is not really. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but it's just another 1,000. I mean, is it 10,000 or is it like 25 or is it 50? Because yeah, I mean, for me, it's like if you hit 100, for me, the next big one would be like 500, and then 1,000, and then probably like 10,000. But I suppose it depends on what level your channel's growing, because I mean, some people's channels are growing at such a fast pace. I mean, there are channels that grow, you just like, for whatever reason, their channels just like hit a spot, like it just takes off. I mean, I'll use Piz's channel as an example, because like I've been like following Piz since he was at like 4,000 subs, um, going back to like what got me, like 2013, 2014. I'm not quite sure, a long time ago. But um, for like the first maybe maybe the first 5 years or so, watching Piz, his channel was like, I think he started off, when I started watching his channel, was like 4,000 subs, and I think in the first like 3 years, his channel went up by about 4,000 subs. And I think when, for some whatever reason, I mean, I don't know whether it's something with the algorithms kicks in, because I think when like Piz got to like 8,000, all of a sudden the channel just went like blew up completely, and it was just like, rather than like someone like Piz gaining like, maybe a couple of hundred subscribers every few weeks, it was like every time you go on his channel, you'd have like another 1,000 subscribers. So I mean, he'll know better than me, but I mean, I just seem to remember like his channel went from 10,000 to 40,000 quicker than it went from 4,000 to like 10,000, if that makes sense, It's just, I don't know whether how it works. Um yeah, Piz says this. He's hit the algorithm right a couple of times. Um but I mean, that's not to take away from you. Obviously, what we saw in you early days, a lot of us, it's good to see that it's kind of come, you know, what I'm trying to say is the algorithms have gone in your favor to get you to 50,000 subs, but it's only what was deserved anyway, because it's what we saw, for us who were like with you back, back in the days, like the 4 or 5,000 subscribers, it's only what was deserved anyway. And it's good that whatever the algorithms are, it's good that you hit them because it's good to see somebody who actually deserves to get to 50,000. And I'm not saying that anybody hits 50,000 subs doesn't deserve it, but I think we've all kind of seen channels on YouTube who have like, thousands of subscribers, and I mean, I'm not gonna like get into a rant now, but I mean, some of I don't know whether it's still a thing, but reaction videos, where people literally just take somebody else's YouTube channel and just react to it and get like, you know, more views than the channel they're reacting to just for ripping off their content. That always seemed a bit strange to me. And I mean, if these people are making money off it, well, fair play. I'm not going to say, oh, you shouldn't be making money off it, as long as the person who you're reacting to is getting a share of the profit. But I always felt that, like, those reaction channels, which I think they've kind of died down a little bit from like 5, 6 years ago, man. Those reaction channels were just insane. Yeah, reaction. Yeah, Chris says I've seen reactions to reactions. Yeah, reactions to reactions to reactions. It was just insane. I think the Fine Brothers kind of like triggered the whole thing. If anybody remembers the Fine Brothers, they were like, I don't know if anybody still watches them. YouTube is a strange place because you know there's it's really strict. It's like I'd like to ask you guys, out there who's watching now, like whenever you join YouTube, how many people who you watched in the first 3 or 4 years have started, a, a YouTube sub, what would you call it? Oh, when you first signed up to YouTube, I mean, you call it a channel, but we didn't all have channels. I mean, I only started my channel like last 2 years ago. But when you first signed up to YouTube, as in, you know, started subscribing to other channels, for me it was like 2009, I think. What percentage of the channel? I know, okay, a lot of channels have formed since then, but I mean, even from like 2018, 2019, like very few channels who I'm subscribed to now was I subscribed to like 5 years ago. There's a hardcore like Piz is one. Yeah, I've been subscribed to Piz for like 10 years. But and there are a few others who I have been subscribed to for the longest time. But for me, YouTube is a constant sort of I'm trying to think of the right word. It's like a merry-go-round almost. It's not, maybe that's not the right definition, but I kind of have to every now and again just go into my subscriptions, just delete a load of channels who I never ever watch because I subscribe to somebody on a whim, and because I like one video, and then I don't like put notifications on, so I completely forget that the channel was there. And then 6 months later, I'm like, who was that channel again? Why did I subscribe to them? Oh, it's because of one video. And then I just unsubscribe, and I think, well, why did I even bother? And I think that's the thing about YouTube is it's like, I mean, views. We've all seen channels who've like dead channels. There's channels with like hundreds of thousands of subscribers, maybe even millions of subscribers, who get their subscriber to view ratio is just like ridiculous. It's like they might have like 2 million subscribers, and the channels will get like a few thousand views. They're like channels which maybe were up and coming a few years ago, and then everybody lost interest. And I think that's the thing about YouTube. It's it's very difficult to sort of gauge who's popular. You've got to basically, unless you're somebody like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast, who's just been popular for like so long that they've just like almost outgrown YouTube to a point where they're just like they're almost bigger than the channel itself, bigger than the website. A lot of YouTube channels do kind of, they're running on previous sort of reputations, um, in a way. And I think that's, it's I think that's one of the reasons I'll always look to, like, sort of like, no matter how big your channel is, how small your channel is, look at the interaction. If you're getting lots of comments in the videos and you're getting lots of, as if the views correlate to how big your channel is, you're doing okay. But it's, if the channel's like, if you've got like a million subscriber channel and you're getting 5,000 views, then there's something wrong there. And it's great having the subscribers, but you've got to keep working. You've got to keep plugging away. You can't become complacent, especially if it is if it is your livelihood. I mean, obviously, for most people, YouTube's just a hobby. And I certainly there'd never be a situation where I could ever make a living off it. But it's just nice to have a hobby, and it's nice to know that people are interacting. But it would become a little bit stressful if it got to a point, if I can't imagine somebody who's like making, decent money off YouTube, but they've given the job up and they're totally reliant on YouTube money, and then the views start falling, the interaction drops, and then all of a sudden they're thinking, "Oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have packed the job in." I mean, if you are going to do YouTube full time, make sure you get that money in the bank first of all, and make sure you've got something to fall back on. Because really, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a fickle business. Like, the internet is fickle. People will move away from you very quickly if they don't like what you've got to say or they don't like what you're doing. Um, just jump into that. See, Piz says, a lot of big streamers on both Twitch and YouTube do that. They basically just stream themselves watching what people's got, and they're really yeah. I mean, it's easy money. I wouldn't say it's easy money. You've got to you've got to have a personality. You've got to have some sort of personality, but it's not as difficult. I mean, as what other people do on YouTube. There are people out there who are putting out. I mean, someone I do like is Mauler. He's a Welsh YouTuber. He critiques movies, and he releases like 3, 4 videos a year. And he just released a video about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and he made a 6-hour video on it, a 6-hour critique. And you know that takes dedication to just release 4 or 5 videos a year. And he's got like 400,000 subscribers, so he's got a good following. But that takes dedication. That's a full time job. And to make a 6-hour video about one movie, which the movie was only 2 hours long, so that tells you something about him as a person. But yeah, a lot of the people who just do reaction videos, it's just it's just cheap. I mean, it really is. Um, Lawn's in the chat. What's up, Lawn? Thank you, Van. Congratulations. Appreciate that. Really do. Yeah, but your channel's one of the channels that like led me to like, going. I mean, obviously doing Pizz's Patreon streams, that kind of like that gave me the confidence to appear in front of a camera, even if it was just in front of my smartphone in my kitchen for the first few months. Um, but obviously, like, watching a lot of you guys. I mean, your community streams, Jay streams, and Corey streams as well. That's just that time. I always repeat myself when I do these streams because I always forget what I've said. But like late 2020, very very late 2020, so like November, December, very early 2021 was kind of like a really really special time amongst the community. Just the live streams that were going on at the time were like a little bit crazy and they were really fun. And I was just like in the chat. Um, and it was those streams that you were doing, Jay. Well, Jay's not here. Like, I'll just say Lorne's here. But I think what Lorne and Jay and Corey had started doing at that time were like really, really kind of like a special time because it was kind of like anything goes. As much obviously with Pizza streams, they're a lot more structured. Which, and obviously because you've got to be structured when you're doing a Patreon stream because it's not like a free for all. But watching those sorts of like unstructured, sort of like just crazy sort of streams where anything could go, I thought that's when, and because the channels who were doing it, were like it was like Jay's obviously got like a fairly decent sized channel, but Corey was at a smaller channel at the time, and obviously Lorna just started out as well. It kind of gave me the idea that what you don't have to have like 50,000 subs to just turn a webcam on and just like talk about films. So that was kind of like Piz came Piz's Patreon streams kind of gave me the confidence, but then it was kind of like the spur to like start doing live commentaries, not live streams, I should say. Although I do live commentaries as well. To do the live streams as well was kind of just watching, you know, a lot of you guys, like as in Corey, Jay, Hayden, doing that shit back, towards the tail end of 2020, early 2021, and that's kind of like just getting to know all you guys really, as in a face to face, in terms of like knowing who you are. I mean, I knew Jay from Sausage Factory, but I feel like guys like Corey and Lorne, obviously, I knew through Sausage Factory, but he was a newer member, and Hayden, people like that. I just got to getting to know these guys face to face in terms of like what they, and then to getting to interact a little bit through emails, and then that's when I just decided to bite the bullet and just say, you know what, I'll just maybe have a go at this myself. And yeah, I never looked back really. Made some like good friends in the community, obviously, like, and then newer people coming on, like Chris, you know, just I think just through Piz's Patreon stream. I think that's the first time I spoke to Chris was through the Patreon stream. I thought, oh, cool guy, like 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 what he's got to say, just reach out, email, and next thing you know, we're doing like live streams. And yeah, it's just a really, I mean, like tonight's stream wasn't really, it was just about a bit of a celebration of kind of like just everyone, the way it's moved forward in the last couple of years, I think, because I think that's what this really has been about. I think I can't remember. I think it was Lauren did a live stream with Jess a while back, and I think Lauren um, made reference to COVID as like what kind of like brought everyone together almost. I mean, obviously there was a community before then, but it was more like just in comment sections. It wasn't really, Jamie as well. Jamie, someone else, of course, Jamie, someone else who came along during, COVID who I'd never met as well. I've seen your face live. You come along. Oh, thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, because like, Jamie again is somebody else who's just like, before COVID, before, just you kind of were always in the conversation in those live streams back at the tail end of 2020. I know it didn't always go according to plan, naming no names, but it was always. But you get my point. It was just, yeah. I mean, COVID really, I think, has been a big. It's positive in that respect. What we do now, okay, there's endless negatives to COVID and lockdowns, but I think a lot of us sitting here now watching live streams, watching different channels, we might not be here if it wasn't for that. But yeah, so basically, that's pretty much it. I was gonna cover more. I was gonna like maybe do like go into sort of like more like horror news and stuff, but I just think this stream is more just a. I think maybe keep that for next week, because I think this stream is more just about a little bit of a thank you to you guys in the chat as well, and a thank you to everyone who subscribed to me, who watches back on playback. I think obviously one horror YouTuber of the month as well, which was a big surprise. Well, yeah, I mean that was a big surprise to be nominated. Um, I mean, I've said it in the video previously to nominate the new nominees, who, by the way, go and check out the 4 new channels who I nominated for Hobby YouTube of the Month. Go to the previous video. If you've not watched my previous video, go over to my channel and watch the previous video. Check out the 4 nominations and vote. Most importantly, vote. If you're not aware who they are, go and check them out. They're all good guys, and leave a nomination. But before I sign off tonight, yeah, just want to say a big thanks, obviously, to Chris, obviously, who nominated me, because you know, Dan's in the chat, and I was going to get to you, Dan. You've just come at the right time, actually, Dan, because I was just about to give you a good plug. Not that you need a plug, because everyone knows who you are, but I'm just going relating to the Horror YouTube of the Month, just saying, Chris obviously nominated me, and obviously Jake the month before, and obviously you started the ball rolling, Dan, because I never knew who the Horror YouTube of the Month was going before you won. I had no idea this even existed. And then you nominated me, obviously, and obviously, you nominated Lorne and This to My Voices, and Jess and whatnot. But as it went forward, because it just gave more exposure to me, and obviously, I mean, and Chris as well, because I think Chris was similar to me in terms of subscribers before the whole nominations. And Chris has now got closing in probably on 150 subs. I had 45 subs before you nominated me, and I've got 105 subs. So I've more than doubled my subscriber count in 3 months, which wouldn't have happened without this whole horror YouTube of the month, because it just brings eyeballs over to channels which you weren't aware of. I've become aware of channels in the last couple of months that I never even knew existed. Quite a lot of UK guys as well who I never knew about, and who I've subsequently nominated this month. Guys like Horror Video Tasties, who Chris has been on. Chris has been on his channel. Horror Lives Matter. Savage Zombie Reviews. Great guys, and JT as well. I mean, I've nominated JT. If go and check out my previous video for the nominees. JT is a great guy. JT, he's got less than 100 subs, but his videos are doing really well. He does long form discussions about the films he loves. So he's done Freddy versus Jason yesterday or the day before, and it's a 40-minute dissection of the movie. He discussed Halloween in an hour and 10-minute video. He knows his stuff, and he really goes into detail about it. And the videos he's putting out are popping. That it's one of those channels where he's getting more views than subscribers. So people are obviously watching it, but not necessarily subscribing to the channel. So definitely check out his channel. Go over there and give a like and a subscription. Sean's in the chat as well. What's up, Sean? Sean's there. So Sean's big. I just want to put a bit again, before I do sign off. This has been, as I say, the camera's gone a little bit funny again for some reason. But just a shout out to people who've basically been there from over the last after the last 18 months. People like Sean, obviously, everyone in the chat tonight. I don't need to name names. Everybody in the chat tonight is kind of is all helped. But definitely, especially people Dan, especially, because Dan's he's just pushes channels constantly. That's all. He's such a good guy in the respect that I'll just put a tweet out, to push a live stream, and he'll retweet it the next day. I don't do it. He promotes my channel more than I do, which just goes to show you what sort of guy that Dan is. You know what I mean? It's I can't even be bothered retweeting or my stream for the previous night. Well, Dan will put the tweet out and say, "Well, yeah, Mike's put a stream out last night. Go and watch it." So Dan is just he's just a legend. He's like this kind of like Dan's kind of like the I'm trying to think of the right description. He's kind of like the sort of like godfather of like the whole community, because I think everyone looks up to Dan, because like Dan's like knowledge of movies is just like on another level to anybody. His collection is probably on another level to anybody, and he also puts himself through the torch of watching the utter shit that we don't have to watch. You know what I mean? Dan will watch, Ouija Shark, or House Shark, or whatever latest shark abomination movie is out there. He'll watch it, so we don't have to. So it's all good. It's like it's like you know we- I love a shark movie, but it's nice to know what I can and can't watch without like wanting to shoot myself in the head. Um, so um, if I'm the Godfather, what horror should I whack? Dan, honestly, Dan, I mean, if you've not nominated yet for like horror YouTube of the month, Video Tasties, um, that guy Gareth, he's got an insane VHS collection. He's probably our version of you in terms of like movie knowledge, because he knows his shit, man. I mean, he really does, and his VHS collection is just off the chart. So if you do, if you want to see your alter ego in the UK, then I'd definitely say go and check out Video Tasties channel, because the guy is just like, it's like an encyclopedia of like knowledge when it comes to like VHS and shit. Um, but yeah, but there are three other channels as well to check out, so check them out as well. But anyway, guys, I've been rambling on for like half an hour, 32 minutes. It's not a particularly long stream tonight, as I say. This was just kind of like just a thank you to all you guys in the community, and to say thank you. I will be back next Tuesday with a more in-depth midnight stream discussing everything from cinemas closing down to Hellraiser going woke, possibly. That's for another channel. That's for another stream. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. So yeah, for everyone who jumped on, 13 people in the chat, amazing. Jamie, Chris, Piers, Dan, Lorne, Bunny, DJ, Sean. Have I missed anyone? Hopefully not. I probably have missed someone. I always do. Griffin was there as well. DJ, Jess at the beginning. So thank you a lot, guys. Thank you so much. I will see you next week with another video. Peace.